Hello friends, welcome to this video lecture series on microprocessor 8085. This is the second lecture of this series. In the first lecture we have seen about the basics of microprocessor, we have seen its definition, and also we have seen its various application. Also we have seen and basic blocks of any processor based system. All those concept we have discussed in our first lecture. This is the second lecture. Again we will study in little advance about some basics of microprocessor. So let's get started. And again this reference book I am which I am using, Microprocessor Architecture, Programming and Application with 8085 by Ramesh Gonkar. This is a very nice book. For reference you can see this book. Okay, let's get started with our second lecture. First we will see what are the basic terms which are used in the study of any microprocessor. Whenever you are going to study microprocessor at any level, whether any board exam or competitive examination or in an interview, anybody can ask all those basic terms. So one by one we will study these basic terms which are commonly used in the study of any microprocessor. Earlier also we have studied that microprocessor is a programmable device. Programmable device means we are programming it, we are writing the code inside the processor. Whatever functions, whatever work we want that our processor should be doing, we have to write the code of that program. For example, you can see if you want that your processor should multiply a given number. So for that multiplication of the given number, you have to write the program of the number. Program you have to write that how to multiply that number. You have to write it, you have to feed it in the memory which is interfaced with the microprocessor. Then only that microprocessor will understand the thing. Then according to this program it will process the data. From the name it suggests that processor, it processes the data. Microprocessor means it processes the data. Nothing it is doing, but only it is processing the data according to our program. Whatever code we have written, that microprocessor performs that code on the input data and produces the output. ठीक है. Program code has to be loaded in the processor for any desired result. Same thing means whatever application, whatever things we want that processor should do, we should write the code in the processor. Then processor processes the data according to that code we have written and produces our desired output. Okay. One more important thing is that microprocessor understand only binary digits. Okay. Whatever information, whatever input we are giving, whatever output we are getting, whatever code we are writing, everything has to be in binary format. Microprocessor understand only this binary digits. You must be familiar that you are writing the word move, add, multiply. All these terms are there. You are writing this, but in the end, these terms has to be converted into a binary digit. Bits, some combinations are there. That combinations, only bits combination are there. That only microprocessor is understanding. It is not understanding any English or Hindi language. It will understand only the binary format digits. These bits are in the form of like this 10104 format of the bit. Is that you have to feed the data, you have to feed your code, you will get the output, everything in this binary format. Okay. Some more terms we will be discussing about which is commonly used. Nibble. It is a group of 4 bits. Whenever the 4 bits are grouped together, it is called as a nibble. Similarly, when you are grouping this group of 8 bits, then it is called as byte. Group of 8 bits is called as byte. Byte is a very common word. Everybody must have heard. Okay. Now word, microprocessor word. This is very important. You must have heard that 8085 is a 8-bit microprocessor. So what it means 8-bit? It means that at any instant simultaneously the processor can process that 8-bit. 8-bit word means that group of bit that microprocessor can process or recognize as simultaneously. Uh, Suppose it is 16-bit word processor, then 16-bit can be processed simultaneously. For a 32-bit processor, 32 bits simultaneously can be processed. For 64-bit processor, at a time 64-bit multiplication, 64-bit and whatever functions of 64-bit you want, it can do only in one cycle. Okay, suppose your processor is of 8-bit but your data is of 32-bit, then 8 multiplied by 4, then it will require 4 cycle to perform that data. For example, you take your processor is of 8-bit and your words are of 64-bit, then it will require 8 cycle. 8, that 64-bit data will be divided into 888 because your processor is of 8-bit, it understand only that 8-bit at a time. Okay, so you can say that a higher number of word processor whose bit is higher is it will process faster. Microprocessor 8085 which we are presently studying and which further we will study in deep is a 8-bit processor. It means that 8085 can process 8-bit data at a time. Okay, 8-bit is a word of this. 8-bit is a word of microprocessor 8085. Again, why 8-bit? Because the data bus of this processor is of 8-bit. Okay, that bit, suppose 16-bit database, then 16, that processor will be called as of 16-bit because it can process 16-bit data simultaneously according to that data bus only, because bus is nothing but a group of lines to carry the bits. So if 8 bits are there in parallel, so all those 8-bit word can be recognized, processed simultaneously. So it is a 8-bit processor. Microprocessor is 8-bit processor. It can process that 8-bit word simultaneously. Okay. Now we will see what is registers. You must have heard about that microprocessor register: A, B, C, D, E, F, program counter register, stack pointer register, flag register. All those things you must have heard. So now we will see what is microprocessor, what is registers in a processor. It is a small storage capacity in the form of register to store the data currently under execution. We know that we are writing the program, a code, everything in the memory, but whenever that microprocessor is processing the data, processing the program, then these things has to be placed inside the processor. Then inside the processor, whatever the data which is currently under execution, it is stored in a register. Register is a storage capacity. It is a means to store the data inside the processor. So the data which is stored inside the processor during the execution of the program, during the execution of the current program, the data is stored in the register. Microprocessor have so many registers. Some special registers are there like accumulator and flag registers are there. Some general purpose registers are there. Some program counter is there which points to that memory location from where the next instruction is to be fed. Number of registers are there. These registers you can access through your in the code, in the form of when you can write these register combinations in your code. Through code you can access the data of this register. You can modify the data in the register through code only. So it is a temporary storage location inside the processor where the data which is currently under execution is stored. Okay. Now external memory has to be interfaced with the processor to write the program and code. This is also clear. Microprocessor doesn't have any, means registers are there. It is a, no doubt it is a memory, but processor doesn't have any memory to store this data or program to store the program. So we have to interface an external memory through the processor so that it can access the data or program or code whatever we are writing. So it is external memory which we are going to interface. Okay. Let's we have already discussed this microprocessor based system. You have to give that input from an input devices like keyboard, mouses and switches, and microprocessor will process the data according to the code which is written in the memory. Here from the code will go inside this memory, inside the processor. Now in the processor it will be stored in temporary registers. So many temporary registers are there. It is stored here. Then when input data comes here, then that code applies on input data and we are getting the output through output devices. There are many types of output devices like speaker, display, LED display, all those things are, this comes under the output devices category. This is that external memory which here what we are discussing about. This external memory has to be interfaced to write the program or code. Here this is that memory only. External memory we are interfacing it with what we call RAM. In your mobile phone also you see that you must have discussed that what is the RAM of your phone, 2 GB, 4 GB, 16 GB. In laptop also you see that RAM is there. You see that 2 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM. The better the RAM is there, the processor works very fast. Besides secondary memory is also there, hard disk what you called it is also there, but the execution, that program which is under execution, all those things processor contacts only with this RAM only, this memory only. It doesn't contact with that hard drive. Every data has to be come in the RAM only, then only the processor can access it. After RAM it comes into that internal registers. These internal registers are there. From the RAM this data will come in the internal register, that when the current execution is going on. Okay. Now we will discuss something about that memory. Everybody knows that memory means storage location, data storage location, program, code, everything, anything where we can store something, and everything has to be stored in the this binary format, 0101 format. Microprocessor understand only this format, bits only it understand. So this microprocessor stores information such as instruction and data in binary format in memory. In the memory it is stored. So broadly we are classifying this memory into two types. One is read only memory and second is read write memory or random access memory. Read only memory is a memory in which the data is stored permanently. Here the data is not changed. You cannot change the data of the ROM. Once you have written any data in the ROM, it will remain there forever. Okay, you are unable to change the data again and again in the ROM part. Here the program are written permanently, data is stored permanently, it cannot be changed. It is the non-volatile memory, means whenever the power goes off, then also the data remains in it. Means your computer switched off, your mobile gets shut down, then also that whatever the data of the ROM is there, it will remain as it is. It will not be erased. Means data remains even after the power is switched off. Okay. So why it is necessary that this type of memory is there, which in which the data is stored permanently? It is because there are some programs like boot program, BIOS. When you shut down your system, and again when you press that power button, it again get turned on, and your computer gets on. So that boot program, according to this boot program, it works. So this boot program is permanently stored inside your computer ROM, and it cannot be erased. When you have shut down that whatever it is in the RAM, it will go off, but not that boot program, because it is written in the read only memory. Okay, read write memory, RAM or random access memory. This is a second type of memory in which you can change the data any number of time. Data stored can be changed any number of time. This is a non-permanent memory. Here whatever you are writing, you can write it, you can erase it, and also it is a volatile memory. Means suppose your computer switched off, it gets shut down, or power goes off, then whatever data is written inside that RAM, it will be erased. Okay, in the ROM whatever data is there, it remains forever, but in the RAM the data is stored until the power is there. Okay, whenever the power goes on, that data will be erased. Suppose you are writing something in a Word file, okay, and you have not saved it on a hard drive. You have opened your Microsoft Office and you are writing something on it. Suddenly your power goes off and your PC gets shut down. Then what you will see, that when again you will, when the power will come, when you will switch on that computer, you will not be able to retrieve that data, because it has not been saved. So that was in RAM only memory. When the power goes off, that data got erased. Okay, it is a volatile memory, volatile and non-volatile memory. ROM is non-volatile memory, means permanent power. Whenever power goes off, the data remains, and RAM is a volatile memory. Power goes off, then data is erased. This also we have seen this input devices which transfer the binary information from outside world to the processor. This input is given to that processor. It is in the form of binary. 1010 format is there. From there input is given to that processor. These input devices are like keyboard. Through keyboard you can give the input. You can type these letters 1, 2, 3, everything. Through mouse also, by clicking the mouse you can give the input. Through barcode reader, scanner also you can give the input. Output devices are that it transfers the binary information from microprocessor to the outside world. Okay, whatever that data has been placed here, it get transferred to that output through output devices. Output devices are like LED displays there, monitor, some printer, all those things are, it will come in output devices. Okay, we have seen that a microprocessor based system, any microprocessor based system has these blocks. This is the input device here, this is the processor part, this is the output, and here it is a memory, some read-only permanent memory and some non-permanent memory. Now in the next lecture we will study what are the internal building blocks of any processor. This is ALU, arithmetic and logic unit, we will discuss. This is control unit, this is register part. So many registers are there. Any microprocessor, whether it is 8085, 8086 or recent i-series, Intel i-series processors are there. In broad category, broadly we can categorize, we can classify any processor in these three building blocks: arithmetic and logic unit, control unit and registers. Now one by one in our subsequent lecture we will study what is ALU, what is CU, what are registers. Okay, let's stop here in this lecture, and you can ask your any doubts. If you have any doubt, please feel free to put your doubt in the comment also, and it is request that you like, share and subscribe this channel. And okay, thanks for watching. Meet you in the next lecture. Thank you.